What is up, guys? My name is Jenkins and welcome to a coin making guide. So, right, my biggest ever video on this channel was how to make easy coins in FIFA 12 Ultimate Team. So now we're going to do this but for FIFA 13 Ultimate Team. As you'll see, I have got 10,000 coins in my little coin thing on the top right. I'm about to do a 10k rush hour, but before I do this, I thought I'd show you the methods I'm going to be using to acquire the players for this rush hour, and ones that are going to help me make maximum profit. Now this is basically just any old guide. If you've got 5k, 10k, 2k, you can still make coins with this. Not as much on like a grand scale with buying loads of players, but if you keep working your way up from this stage, since we barely any of us have got that many coins, you can really make a killing through this. Of course, some of the little methods I'm going to be talking about here are going to be exclusive to the web app in the fact that the main game hasn't been released yet, but I will most likely do a proper one of these, a really long one of these, when the main game has been released. So, let's get down to business. Now, the first thing you're going to be thinking of is what's everyone else doing right now? You got to think like just a general FIFA 13 player. So, what I did was I immediately built a squad. About 7. Well, I bought a general squad. Just saying, of players that I know. Of players that I know. You don't delve into the market of hybrids and that kind of thing. You keep it the way you know. So you want to be looking at the normal leagues, the regular leagues, so BPL, Serie A, French League, League One, Bundesliga. You want to stick to those when you're buying your players. You want to stick to players who are going to have an impact when the game comes out. So you want to look at players who've got high pace, a particularly high like heading or shooting stat. You want to be looking for those players in particular, and we want to be looking more specifically at silvers, because I think silvers is the easiest method. But really, before the main game comes out, you can really concentrate on some of these gold players. So, for example, let's go out and take a look at this. Now, one thing I was thinking about with my, I got a few decent players in the packs, and I was thinking about just leaving them there. Now, I've got to be honest, guys, this is actually a pretty good idea. You expected me to change my mind there, didn't you? I'm not going to press the buttons here for a second. You expected me to change my mind, but if you find a player who you think is going to be worth a lot of coins, in fact, I've actually got 3 accounts. I can show you just, I'm not sure if the player will be in here, but there's 1 or 2 guys. Here we go. Here's just an example. I think Jose Callahan will be worth a lot of coins when the game comes out, because 90 pace. That's pretty much it. I think he'll be going for a little bit, so I decided he may be in 3-4-2-1, but I reckon I'll get a lot more coins for him if I hold on to him for now. So that's why I've decided to keep him in the club. So that's just an example of that. I actually got him in my season ticket pack. And by the way, guys, if you just find any of these generally, hold on to them. If you can say get an Oxlade-Chamberlain very, very cheaply, he will be a load. He will be lots and lots and lots when the game comes out. So hold on to him if you reckon he's going to double in price. But I would recommend, guys, only doing this if you're not being that serious about trading, if you're not really that interested in going for loads and loads of coins for your trading. If you just want to say get a little kitty set aside for when the game kicks off, you can do that. Pick up some players who will increase in price and just hoard them. You could also do that with contracts as well. Contracts, I don't think anyone's buying contracts at all. People might have cottoned on to this method already, because there's probably quite a lot of people thinking like I am. Yeah, let's see, people are bidding, so 250, people bidding about 300 coins in these contracts, on these gold rare contracts. Now think about it, guys, when the game kicks off, these are going to be very, very expensive, because they're going to be a massive demand. You can take advantage of the contract market so very easy at this stage, but again, it's only if you're not interested in going full-scale trading for the next week or so. Right, so let's get on to those proper methods that I was talking about with our players. So let's see if we can single out 1 or 2 of these bitches that I can use as good examples for you. Now, of course, we're not going for any buy nows at this stage. We want to look at players who are ending soon. We want to look for ones who are on open bids more specifically. So, that way, of course, basically, when people are putting them up with a buy now price, they don't have any idea of the market value. The market value is just what everyone else suggests it to be. So this way, if you get them off open bids, nobody has any idea of the market value, so you can just give it your own judgment. So just think about FIFA 12 a little bit. What do you think players would be worth then? What do you think players would be worth now? Try and judge it off that. You do need a little bit of common sense for this, but guys, it's going to be worth it in the end. So let's see if we can find one of these bitches. It did take me a little while to find one earlier. We want to be looking specifically at the shiny players. So here's a good example. 89 place left midfielder, 1.5k. That's probably going to be a bargain. 352, not that amazing, but nevertheless not too bad for that player. Let's move on. Let's see if we can find some more of these. I need to find some good examples for this. I'm noticing there's nowhere near as many shinies as there were before. Oh, Zigic. Zigic's stats have gone down. Zigic is fucking huge. 700 coins, that would be a steal for me. Maybe not in 451, but still, very strong player. Because there's players who have got specific stats who you can find out to be particularly good. So this guy, Targina, he's got 88 pace, he's got 76 dribbling, he's quite cheap. However, in the Portuguese league, he plays for an unknown club. That's an example of a player that you really need to avoid. That he is not going to be useful for you at all. Let's keep going here. Let's find someone from a big club. There's quite a few of these players here. Let's actually specify. Let's actually do some specifics. Let's just go for the Barclays Premier League. Find some of these shiny players who will be ending very soon. Key, here's a good example here. Key looks like quite a strong player. He's got some pretty nice stats. Only 1.9k. You know, I would drop a bid on him if I wasn't waiting for it right now. Hilario here. Hart. Let's look for some more boys who got the open bids. I wouldn't recommend going for any of these non-shiny players, by the way. That might be a very poor idea, and if my ultimate team would actually catch up, that would be very good. Took its time, but we got there in the end. Let's just find some of these boys. Where are you? Where are you? Ooh. You know they're there, guys, right? Guys, I've got to say, you've got to have some patience. You really do have to have patience to get involved in trading. Because there are some players who... Oh, hang on. Here, this is a good example. No, probably not. Probably not. You've got to have patience for trading. Ignore me for that last bit there. Because before, I used to have no patience at all. Nothing at all. And I used to just waste all of my coins on everything, just throw them all away, and it just meant that I didn't have much in the end. So you really need to hold on to them. Just be like, don't you dare take my fucking coins. Never give them away. Never waste them on something. And don't just say, oh, I can't be bothered, and just throw them away. Because at this stage, they're very, very valuable. Very, very, very valuable damn coins. Let's see if we can find some more. There's actually quite a few, quite a lot less of these silver guys. Nicky Lambert's looking quite good there. Cruzat was a good example of a player from before. I'm actually struggling a little bit here, guys. If we check out how many minutes these guys have got left, 4 minutes. Hang on. Somebody else must have picked these up. Basically, in fact, I'm going to tell you what's really happening here. We're recording this at a pretty damn peak time. This is a pretty peak time, and by that I mean there's a lot of people on the market right now looking to purchase players. There's a lot of people online trying to make those coins at this stage. However, here's a good example. There we go, we've found one already. Jordi Gomez, 72 rated, plays for Wigan. He's cam, he's got a decent formation, and I can probably bet you guys he's got 4-star skills as well, just from prediction, really. I'd pop a bit of 1.7k on him there. Maybe stay around 2k. Keep it under there. You should be able to sell him for easily twice the price when the real game comes out. There's some other boys here. Let's look for these damn open bids, you bitch. But as I was saying, peak times really they're really important. If you can, say, set an alarm, wake up at, like, I don't know, wake up a little earlier, wake up at, say, 2 in the morning, just for an hour or so. If you go to bed a little earlier, wake up at 2 in the morning, and you'll be able to find these players for very cheap prices. Ferdinand, he's got 71 pace. He's a very strong player. And 3k, that's a bargain. That's an absolute bargain. People will be paying far more for him. Jesus holy Christ. Agbon Lahore, 93k. That's mental. That's mental. But let's look for some more. You know what? I think you guys have got my point. I think you guys understand what I mean by this. And I am going to move on. Hang on. Here we go. Miyachi as well. 15k. That was his price at the end of the last game. At the end of the last game. It can only go up. It can only go up. So these are guys you want to be looking at. Vaughan looks like quite a quality player. Only 800 coins. You could pop a bid on him. McCleary looks quite good. In fact, 6.2k, probably not. Snodgrass, Snodgrass is a really quality player. Very good guy. Look at those stats as well. They're going to be very useful when the game kicks off. One of them you could pick up. You know, just good examples here. Let's head off for some gold players as well. Let's keep it specific to the Premier League. Let's look for those shinies who have got particularly good stats. Have we got? Hang on, Andy Johnson's got 82 bait. Sorry, I hadn't noticed that before. Let's just check out some of these other boys. David Luiz, 78. He's been taken down. So I'm rambling a bit, but I think you guys will know what I mean in this fact. I think you guys will get a general idea. Edin Dzeko, look at that. Look at that. 4k. Absolute bargain. Absolute bargain for Edin Dzeko. 41212. I'm going to have to resist not putting a bid on myself. 4k, somebody's going to get this guy an absolute steal. Absolute steal for the price. And this is the players that you can find easily. And see, we go for the gold players, and this is on the second stage. Second page. You want to be looking at the silver players more. I think I made a little mistake. You want to be looking more at the silver players when the game kicks off. You see someone else has noticed Dzeko here. But really, he is an absolute bargain. Only 20 seconds left. You could easily jump in there and pick him up. Let's see if there's any others that I can pick out for you here. There should be one or two. I'm looking specifically at the silvers as always. Petr Cech will definitely go up in price. I can assure you he won't be that much. Sahin, quality player, 3.5k. That's a bargain at this stage. He should be going for more. You just think about it, guys. Marin, here we go. Marin, 78 rated. There we go. Great stats. Plays for Chelsea. He's going to be worth more than that. Look for the damn fucking open bids. So, one more method that I'm just going to show you. This is my favourite method to use. Is just the buy and relist. Buy and relist method. So, there's one or two players that I like particularly a lot. Ones that I used in FIFA 12 to make quite a lot of coins. I'm going to show you one of those. This is a guy called El-Younussi, who's a player that I used in one of my squad builders. I'm not sure if you remember him. He plays for Norway. I'll just show you why he's a good example of this. He plays for Rosenborg in, I'm not sure, here we go, in the Tippeligaen. And he's got amazing stats. He's got 4-star skills, and he's oh, hang on, what am I doing here? There we go. And he's just generally amazing all round. And you can look at him here. Where is he? There we go. So we've got one up for, that's too much. He wasn't up for that much earlier. So we've got one up for 4k. That's start price of 4k. 4k, 4k, 4k. See, it's not much at all. It's not much at all. And basically, if you can pick these bastards up, see, if you look at the rest of them, hang on. I'm using this as an example because last night was a lot more. But if you, usually, there's a lot less. In fact, what am I talking about? We've got to specify formation. Why am I ignoring that? I'm an absolute retard today. Let's specify formation. So 4-3-2-1. We got none there. 4-3-3. We should be able to find a couple of them in these decent formations. Here we go. One up for 4.9k. This is an absolute perfect example. One up for 4.9k. One up for 15k. Now, you buy that 4.9k and relist it at 9.9 or 10k. People will think 10k is an absolute bargain for this player in 4-3-3. Absolute bargain. They will die for him immediately, and you've made yourself 5k solid profit. Now, this is the buy and resell method that I love so much. So you want to be looking at these players who are not quite so well known. Some of these hidden gems, you might not want to tell people about them, by the way. I used to use, for example, like Barry Bannon and a couple of the faster Premier League centre-backs before. If you look for these players that are going to be in, that people won't quite know about, but they won't have as many of them. They're quite rare players and they've got really nice stats. Hidden gems, as I've just said. You can really find some great one of these. And who is also a good example? Traore. I don't know if you knew much about him. He was like 2 meters tall, like 2.5 meters tall. That's ridiculous height. That's crazy. But he was like 6'9" tall, silver striker from the Ivory Coast, and there was barely any of him. So you could just buy him, relist him, and everyone would buy him. Same with Rasmus Elm as well, silver player, Swedish player who used to play for AZ Alkmaar. You could easily buy and relist him. So this is a really great method, guys. But it's all about finding the right players. Really often, you can just find some favourite players, and if you stick to those favourite players rather than jumping around the market, you can make a lot of coins. So, in review, stick to the leagues, stick to the big leagues: Premier League, Serie A, League One, Bundesliga, Liga BBVA. Look for pace, shooting, heading. Those are the big ones. If they're in a particular formation where those stats really need to be high and they're going for quite cheap, so if you've got a central midfield, he's got 85 passing, he's not particularly good in anything else, but he's going to get noticed. I would suggest looking more at golds at this stage, because basically lots and lots of people are trying to sell their players. Loads. If you go on the market, there's just going to be, in fact, that's a bad example because I haven't put any search options in. What am I doing? An absolute knob. But you can find just so many players right now. People are trying to get rid of them dirt cheap because there's so many noobs online. You can get an absolute bargain. Absolute bargain. So, also, that buy and resell method. Very, very useful. Get an instant profit, pretty much. And the last one, taking advantage of contracts. We want to think about what people are doing when the game kicks off. What are they thinking about now? You've got to get into the mindset of every other FIFA 13 player. Because when that game comes out, and I've played 7 or so games with the team that I've built already, I'm going to be wanting 11 contracts. Who's going to get them? Who's going to be selling them? You are at an increased price. So it's a foolproof market. That's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully this 15 minutes of tips is going to be more useful than me talking about them for 5 minutes. I do ramble a bit. I apologise for that. But honestly, guys, this is going to be very useful for you. And I really hope this helps. I should be doing another one of these in a couple or so weeks once the market's settled down a bit for FIFA 13 on the actual game, not on the web app. And that's pretty much it. If you've enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button down below. And I will see you all next time.